Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Failing is Not an Option. So, today we are going to take a dive into some of these minor mistakes that we could possibly make when it comes to taking the MFT National Exam. But you know what? It's not just for the MFT National Exam, it's for all of these counseling exams that sometimes we kind of struggle with trying to understand what some of these questions are asking us, leading us to having to take these exams over and over and over again. So, we need to know these minor little details before we even sit for the real exam. Do not start practicing these aspects when it's the real thing. Start putting them into practice right now so that when you get to the real thing, you are going to be much more effective with your approach when it comes to elimination tactics, when it comes to even reading between some of those lines that they are trying to use in order to distract you. So let's take a dive into these. Now, on my left and also on my right, I have a list of some of the things that I've noticed that people are doing within the Facebook group. Don't think that I'm ignoring your comments that you say, oh, I should have slowed down. Oh, I didn't read that right. Oh, I don't know what this, and I've been paying attention to it. That's how I'm able to come up with this. One of the first things that I have noticed that people are doing is they are reading too fast, or they are not fully reading the entire vignette before they start looking at those answer responses. One of the things that people are also doing is they are sometimes partially reading those answer responses and not fully reading the answer response in order to make sure you can strike it out. You need to, like I always say, slow down. Find out what that question is even asking you. What should you be doing with this question before you look at those answer responses? The second thing, mixing up the models. If you do not have clarity and understanding over the models, you are going to mix them up. You need to know the difference between structural and strategic, and we've been waving heavily on that this week. We should all have an understanding of structural and strategic. We should be able to look at a structural family therapy question and look at a strategic family therapy question and know the differences between the two. You need to understand what these models actually mean and what they are about. The next thing, stop trying to over-identify with this client or this family that is in this vignette. That client or that family, that couple, it's not real. It's fake. It's considered to be made up, although it can happen in real life. But those words that are on that screen and that little story that they're telling you within that vignette, it's not real. Answer the question from that vignette, not from your own personal experience. If you're answering from your own personal experience, it means that you are taking a deep dive into too much. You probably got some transference of something going on, and you can't do that. Ignoring words, initial, next, middle phase, early phase, late phase will cause you to choose wrong. Do not ignore those words. If it's in capital letters, it's in capital letters for a reason. This will also cause you to choose an incorrect answer if you do not pay attention to keywords like that. Initial is always going to be considered as being first. It's the beginning. Middle phase, what are you going to be doing in the middle phase of therapy? Termination is you coming out of therapy. Don't be looking for something that you do in the early phase of therapy. Your keywords that you see need to be matching with what's in those questions. Those words are going to tell you exactly what the correct intervention is or what you should be doing within that question. One of the other things I see a lot of people saying, I should have followed my first mind. Do not change answers out of self-doubt. And the thing about it is some of that self-doubt comes from your anxiety. Stop listening to your anxiety and listen to your brain. Your brain is going to be navigating you. Your brain is going to be showing you. Your brain is continuing to teach you about how to find these best answers. I have been saying this for a while. So many people told me, I think this last test round, I failed. I don't even know if I passed it. I didn't even understand what was those questions asking me. You don't have to, because your brain already does. Your brain is speaking the exam's language. All you need to do is trust it. Please trust yourself. When you have that self-doubt, it means that you don't trust yourself. I trust myself. We've been doing this for a while. You know this. Follow your first mind. One of the things that I had to do was constantly sitting there flipping through pages in a book, reading the pages in a book. That wasn't enough for me. I created flashcards. I was talking to myself out loud. I was walking around my place like I'm teaching, or I'm like lecturing people sitting in front of me, to make sure that I know what it is that I'm talking about. You have to engage. Do more of engaging, especially when it comes to like the diagnosis factor. If you sitting there watching a movie and you're just like, oh, this person has this, that's you engaging and applying it versus just sitting there reading it from a book. Okay? Before the exam day, make sure you practice some self-care. Go to bed early. Make sure you get enough sleep. Do not sit there and try to cram, or trying to put this information in there, trying to hurry up and do it. That's not going to be conducive for you. Don't do it to yourself. You got it. You have it. You know this information. This is not an exam for memory. Do not memorize any of these terms, any of these models, any of these concepts. You need to have an understanding over it. Ask yourself, I used to always ask myself, well, what does that even mean? You have to have clarity and understanding over any key term, any concept, any model. Make sure you put it into your own words. Sometimes that book is like mumbo jumbo. Sometimes it's like, I don't get it, I don't understand it. Find a way to get you to have clarity and understanding over it versus you trying to memorize something, because you're going to fall short when it comes to exam day. Another thing, best versus first questions. First is typically the immediate next step, the immediate thing that you need to do, just like when it comes to suicidal ideation, homicidal ideation, intimate partner violent questions. What you do first means it's like crucial, it's critical. Do it right now, get it done, don't ignore it, don't put it off. That's your first questions. Best questions is most like ethically. What is your overall ideal approach that you are going to be working with? Best response, best course of action is typically ethically, how are you going to help this client? Ethically, how are you going to work with this family? Okay? If anybody knows me, the last 2 weeks before I took my exam, I only did mock exams. I stopped studying. You need to practice doing timed exams. It's a 4-hour test. Sometimes I even feel like that sometimes if I'm looking through questions and because I just want to take a mock exam, after 30 questions, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm losing my mind right now. So you are going to have to practice yourself doing these timed exams before you get to the real thing. It's going to be very hard to sit there for 4 hours straight. Now, when I took my exam, I didn't take any breaks because I went in there with a purpose. I went in there on a mission. I was mad. I was pissed off. I'm about to get this over with. And I just flew through those questions. 2 hours, I finished. But if you are the one that is not like really good at that, you need to start practicing now. That's why I do the Kahoots. You have a private place for you to do these questions. You're in a mode where it's like you have the exact time and stuff for each question, like it would be for the real exam. That is your opportunity right there to be able to test yourself when it comes to the time. Even on the real exam, that clock is ticking. You cannot stop time. Time is inevitable. It's going to happen. But what you can do is make sure that you are focusing on those questions, navigating those questions, getting through those questions with clarity and understanding so that you do not have the self-doubt and now you have to go all the way back and then start to second guess yourself. Do not do that to yourself. I want you to have clarity and understanding over all of this information before you get to the exam. That sums it up. If anybody had any more like tips for the exam, feel free to drop a comment. Other people are going to be able to see it. People will be able to see this video. Drop a comment and let me know what some tips that you have done that has helped you be successful in navigating some of these questions. Any like moments where you're just like, oh, that makes sense. I'm doing this differently. I'm doing this now, because my philosophy is you got to get more questions right this time than you did the last time if you are one of our resilient test takers. As always, leave me a question, comment, let me know if you have any questions about anything. Leave me a super thanks. Like I said, any of this money that you give me is going towards helping with the content, going towards more study program, more practice questions for us to use until we all pass this finish line. All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your day.